Right guys, the one that you've all been waiting for, contour hatching. So contour is to go around the edge and the form of the shape. So for ours, it is a edge of a square, but we're going to add a little curve. We're going to add a C shape, and then what we're going to do is work with that, and it's a good practice because we're going to need that for here. For practice today, I'd like everyone to go ahead and kind of build that on from there. So remember, start off with a C, and how we're going to practice is the lines are closer together, the frequency of lines closer together, the darker your tones, the further apart, the lighter they get. So I'm going to start off with them starting to spread out already. Now you can either go up and down and you can create this shape, or you can go ahead and just create your C's as you built it. So I'm going to do a mixture of that. Now when you do go up and down, you'll quickly realize that it starts to leave the box, so you don't want it looking scruffy. So and if you do C's, just take your time. So I'm going to spread that out. Oh, it's not looking very curvy. So I'm going to spread that out, and I'm just going to start off with that base. It's looking very wobbly. That happens because I'm slowing down too much. So I'm going to get into that consistency of moving with that shape. That shape we've got is a curve. So I'm going to start working with that curve, keeping my lines really wispy, and I'm going to stop. And then I'm going to go back and start making the lines more closer together, so eliminating any gaps, just so it's looking really dark, and then I'm going to start blending that in. It's almost like doing circles, but instead of completing a circle all the way, you go ahead and you lift your page. You lift your pen off your page. So that's all I'm doing. Gapping it out. Just need to make sure I stop around this area, otherwise it'll just get too dark. So I need to fill those lines in. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And I'm going to stop. I'm going to start filling this little area as dark as possible. You can really start to see a smoother transition between your tones, and that's what we really want. We want it to look nice and smooth, and we've got a nice little sample there. It's really important that you practice. Don't worry, we are just practicing, and if you have any gaps over here, just fill those in by adding a line, but in the form of a curve. So then it forms into the lines that you've already created. And make your work look nice and neat, not scruffy, and there's no gaps, not too many gaps. And that's something that you can do. And I'm going to go ahead and apply this technique now, this practice, to our sphere. And this is where it gets a bit tricky, but I'm just going to start off the darker area with lots of gaps in between. So the darker area, you can start moving in any form. And as I get out, I'm just going to stop there. And then I'm going to go ahead and build it on. So I'm going to make sure I'm working very closely to the edge itself. You can go all the way, or you can do short areas at a time. So I'm doing the middle now, and then the bottom section. So see how we're drawing like this moon shape almost. And I'm going to start adding those wispy lines. Although pressure does not matter when it comes to this, it is really important that your lines are nicely kind of spaced out, but a little bit of pressure and light pressure can matter as well. But try it out. There's no harm in trying. Different pens give you different results. So I'm going to go ahead and go back into the section here and make it nice and dark. So that means I need to eliminate any gaps I see, making sure that my lines aren't straight. They have to be curvy, because I'm working with the contour of the sphere. So I'm going to go ahead. If your hand feels awkward moving, make sure you move your paper. It makes it so much easier. You're not kind of conformed to do it in a particular way. So just feel free, have fun, and just try to make it look as realistic. Now I like how it goes all the way to here. It's almost like it's a little circle in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and follow that. And you can start to see this really cool 3D shape forming, especially the wispier your lines are, and you can always blend that together more. You can start to see that really cool shape forming. and I'm making sure that that circle stays. You can go closer and closer. So what I'm going to do, you can stop here if you're happy with the dark, medium tones and how it's blending, or you can go ahead and keep going. So I'm going to keep going just to demonstrate that the highlight, the light source is coming from here, and I'm working just continuously with that roundness. And you can form this really cool shape, and it's really cool because it really gives you a zoom out a little bit. You can start to see some really 3D forms happening there. So if I needed to make it a little bit darker, of course I can, but you can form it there, or you can stop where I showed you, or you can stop as well.